and a great big hey howdy hey to all my goofy goobers out there. Welcome back to Animanic commentaries in the new year with Comic Ozzy
and Disney.Fanatic. Aloha, everybody.
And tonight we will be watching the 2000s animated classic Lilo and Stitch. Like, my god, this movie is so fucking good.
It pretty much defined the 2000s generation.
Oh, it definitely did. And some people mentioned in the chat way back. But the whole thing blew up. Like, you never really saw Hercules make appearances in the theme park very much, especially like after the movie released. Like, sure, every Disney Renaissance film had like a promotional parade for it, but like after the movie's release, you never saw a lot of Hercules in the park. You never saw a lot of Tarzan in the park. You never saw Atlanta. You never saw a lot of Atlantis. Like, they made costumes for everything, right? Like, they did. You never saw a lot of the Emperor's New Groove. These costumes are sitting somewhere in a warehouse. Like, there are walkabout characters.
Don't forget Tarzan had a treehouse.
That's true. Tarzan did have a treehouse, probably due to, like, the film's relative success. Disney was like, yeah, let's just retrofit the treehouse. That thing's been sitting, like, abandoned for God knows how long. Maybe it'll get more foot traffic if it's themed to something people recognize. But anyway, now, in the context of Lilo and Stitch, however, it was a mass success. Like, in a comparison of Disney's like financial successes, this one definitely allowed Disney to put it with a lot more like theme park presence. A couple of particular mentions is that the always horrifying extraterrestrial alien encounter was retrofitted as Stitch's Great Escape up until it closed back in 2017.
Good reason too. That thing freaked me out because the harness was way too hard on my neck.
Yeah, but that attraction is gone, and now it's just an empty show building for the time being. But it got its own attraction, and better yet, the Enchanted Tiki Room in Tokyo Disneyland was originally just nothing like the original show at Disneyland at all. None of the familiar characters that you know, and they're mostly singing covers of familiar American tunes, like the show's namesake, Tiki Room Got the Fever. Got the fever, ba-do-do-do-do, that song. In the morning, fever all through the night. But then, after Lilo and Stitch's absolute insane success, they completely redid the show and included Stitch. And honestly, say what you will about Enchanted Tiki Room under new management, but I have to imagine that the Stitch one gets lost in translation as far as quality is concerned, because I'm pretty sure that the Japanese are far more big Lilo and Stitch fans. So much so that not only was there a Disney Channel series,
their own series.
They made an anime. They made a no, wait, I think they made two anime for Lilo and for Stitch.
They made one anime, and then the other one was in China, so it's not an anime.
Ah. But still, that kind of shows how that still shows like how big like Stitch was, I guess, in the Asian market in general. Like, everyone was gaga for Stitch. So,
I mean, you know how they love like their itty bitty creature like things like Pokemon and all that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the word is for it. Just, you know what I mean.
Pokemon literally translates to pocket monster. Oh, are you thinking of yokai or something? No, I'm
thinking of how they have a whole bunch of little itty bitty creature shows like Pokemon and Digimon and all that.
Reggaemon. I'm sure I'm pretty sure that's an internet parody somewhere already. Anyway, Films opens with its custom variant logo. Yes, that is true. And even the Blu-ray copy that I have also does so. Yes, so you will be watching it on Disney Plus. I will give a fair warning before we discuss the film story in detail. That you guys will be watching the Pizza Box edit. For those of you who don't know, in the UK, overseas, they're a lot more stringent on impressionable children being able to watch and imitate things in cartoons. So Like they got rid of they got rid of the ninja weapons in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. No, wait, I'm sorry. The Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. That's how they are overseas about it. So
I'm sorry, what's this about pizza boxes?
So basically, Lilo climbs in the dryer to hide from Nani, but they didn't want kids imitating that because, believe it or not, every year some ignorant kid climbs inside a clothes dryer just like this one. Thank you, Sonic the Hedgehog. But so they didn't want that being imitatable in the UK, so they replaced the dryer next to the washing machine with a little shelf that has a pizza box on it. So the dryer door is now a pizza box. Lilo is hiding inside an empty pizza box, which means she's getting—
It's so dumb.
Which means she's getting crust and days-old cheese on her knees, which I don't like the idea of that in general. Anyway, and it also makes no sense. Like, it makes sense for there to be a dryer, but yeah, just throwing that one out there and in the fucking, you know. On Disney Plus, you're gonna be watching the pizza box edit unless you too have a home video copy from the United States. Again, very specifically United States. It's censored overseas and in other countries because impressionable kids, I guess. You know, that's just— though probably not censored in Japan. I'm pretty sure they'd have good humor about that sort of thing. But anyway, beyond the point, this movie is—
like Japan ever censors anything.
for better or worse. Anyway, but anyway, so the film was advertised as this incredibly goofy kiddie movie about like this mischievous little alien creature, and that cannot be further from the truth. Like, the alien thing is a fucking, like, it's a fucking police show where they're trying to arrest Stitch. And in order to do it, they got one like rookie cop who isn't even like technically a cop, and a fucking it is writer. I'll be getting to that about the American censorship, but like we can talk about that as it's happening in the movie. I just wanted to mention the pizza box thing because that's just
okay.
non-sequitur.
But you know, we need to get to the movie at some point. We're already kind of delayed, and I have work in the morning, hun. So
that's true. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. But like, it is a very beautiful story about family. I think that's enough to get it started. Let's go ahead, everybody, get your copy ready. We're gonna sync up in 3, 2, 1. Oh. Darn it.
You forgot something.
All right. Okay, here we go. Wait, where the hell? Screen share.
I'm not shared.
Applicate. Hang on a minute. I wonder if it's—
Yes, found family is the best trope. I just finished making a PMV from a different Disney movie about found family, so there you go.
Can it register? Doggone it! It won't register. Okay, fine. You won't register. I'll have to register you myself.
Yeah, we'll also talk about how this is like some of the best female representation we've had from Disney.
Oh yeah.
And even if Lilo isn't voiced by a native Hawaiian actress, I can forgive it because the performance is very good.
What the hell?
Also, it's the early 2000s. But, you know, wrap this around your head. The voice of Lilo is the same girl who was the one who crawled out of the TV in The Ring. Also, she was Rose in American Dragon Jake Long when she was a little older.
Well, this is bonkers.
Okay, now what happened with you?
Apparently Discord doesn't want to let me use—
Are you sure? Because I thought she did some— Okay, she did some voice recently.
Huh.
Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna—
Or she did something in Jake Long.
I'm gonna restart.
I could be wrong. Let me check.
I'm gonna restart. I'm gonna restart Discord again. For some reason, it just doesn't want to play. Sorry about that. I was restarting Discord because it was being funny. Let's see if it'll let me use it now. God damn it!
How do you say her name? Devi Chase.
Yeah. Wait, no, that's the wrong folder. Let's try this one.
She did a voice in Fillmore, that I remembered. Huh. I could have sworn she was an American dragon. Oh well, might have misread that. You know, other than the crossover episode. Okay, writer, when you type it out there, that doesn't really help me with the pronunciation.
Alright. Come on. This isn't...
Maybe I mixed up American Dragon with Fillmore. Eh.
Alright, hang on. Can I... Alright, let's see if that got in the way. Nope. That had nothing to do with it. Yay!
That's right, we already established that she was in Spirited Away.
Oh, God. It doesn't...
And you know what? Let me say this already off the bat. I do not approve of the live-action remake. No. Just no. I understand Japan and China putting their own spin on this story. It's a cultural thing, but no. Just no.
Let's see. Maybe, just maybe. God damn it. Well, this is bonkers.
Ooh, I have an image to show you later, hun. When we have time.
God damn it. It doesn't want to recognize.
Did they cancel that? Please let's say they canceled that.
Cancel what?
The Lilo and Stitch remake.
One can only hope. Alright.
It doesn't look like they've... Well, looks like they've canceled the theatrical release of it.
Yeah, boy, and another one of those cheap productions that's gonna be on Disney Plus. Can't
Yep,
wait.
in June 2024. Oh no, is it really coming that soon? Ugh. I can't look at any more of these news things. Ugh.
Damn it.
What is going on?
Discord's being stupid. Hang on.
Nice to know it's not just a me thing.
Yeah.
Probably should have done this while we were talking about stuff.
Well, I didn't think I would have to be futzing around. What's new?
Well,
You're
did
not
you
allowed
think
to
you might
use
have
VLC
to share the
media
screen
player.
at least? I think you might have to share the screen at least. Yeah, my new babysitting job starts in the morning, so I want to get to that.
All right. I'm gonna get this sorted out as quickly as possible.
I hope so.
All right. No, this.
Diga nada cuesta!
All right, let's see.
Yeah, I know about Devi, however you say her name. She didn't have enough time to do the series and the sequel, so yes, Dakota Fanning does Lilo's voice in the sequel. The spin-off series is really fun.
All right, come on.
DeWay? Or what are you trying to say? That her name is DeWay? DeWay?
It seems like that's the case. Come
No,
on.
it's pronounced like a wave. Like, okay, thank you. That makes more sense. Devay. Thank you.
Okay.
Stop giving your kids complicated names, parents.
All right. Come on. Can't be dicking around with this. All right.
Well, it's about time it was you with the technical difficulties.
Yeah, no.
I felt like it was my turn for way too long.
All right. Okay. All right.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me started on unique spellings.
Okay.
That's a pet peeve of mine. I say a kid's name, and they don't correct me for until months later. Like, well, why didn't you say anything? I've been saying the name wrong this whole time. You didn't say anything.
Okay. Can we add it? Oh my god, it refuses. It refuses to recognize VLC Media Player now. I don't get it. I do not understand. Add it. Okay. Can it work?
Yay.
Oh my god! Oh my god, we finally got it to work.
Yeah, I'm not hearing any sound. Or unless do I have it on mute? No.
Here.
There we go.
Now? Okay, good.
Yes.
I was just...
But you had to start at the beginning.
Yes, I do. All right. Now that we have everything squared up, we shall begin in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
That took a while.
A long while.
But again,
And this is all spacified.
Loving when Disney does these custom logos, honestly. They don't do it enough anymore.
I mean, I guess the only thing they did with Wish was just change the nature of the song.
Yeah. Yes.
And here is Kevin Michael Richardson.
Yes.
He does a lot of things.
He does. He's a very prolific voice actor.
Yeah, you guys have surely heard him in something. I mean, there's too many to list.
Yeah. And the late great David Ogden Stiers doing his best Russian impression.
I didn't even know it was him for the longest time because he uses such a different accent than what he usually does.
See, people in the server call me out for that in the French accents in Ratatouille. It's like, it's hard to recognize their voice.
And you know, even if it doesn't sound perfectly Russian, he can get away with it because this is an alien and not an actual Russian guy.
That is true. That is true.
It still works.
Also, it's as passable a Russian voice as any other classic Disney, character. And also, just love his design. Looking at that.
I always thought he was going with a German accent, though.
It's probably like somewhere in the middle, like a real alien voice, a real alien accent.
Also note that they have a Grand Council woman in here, and I appreciate that.
That's true.
And she's a badass leader, too. See, like...
And the thing is, Squad actually brought up earlier that there is a fake alien language. Forgot the name of it already. And that Stitch is speaking it, and that they aren't, indicates that they, Tantalog, that they are speaking English. Like, that's just kind of the intergalactic language. Then where did he pick it up? You're his dad. But, like, yeah.
Like Kevin Michael Richardson, he's played Maurice in the Madagascar spin-offs. He's played the Joker at one point.
Oh yeah. I love these dino alien dudes. A few. Like, you don't really think about that. These are basically dinosaurs. Actually, maybe that's what happened to the dinosaurs. Maybe they just went into space.
Yeah, maybe they did.
Then they evolved to be of a smaller stature, to be more useful.
The meteor didn't hit. They went off on a meteor.
Yeah. That's a very interesting way of having it. Speaking of asteroid... So they're not imprisoning him, they're literally just leaving him out to die in the vacuum of space. Interesting.
They do look like watercolor backgrounds, you're right.
They are, yes, that is true. Like, I was gonna look up which one was the last one. Probably something like The Fox and the Hound was the last one to use watercolors. Or at least something around that time. Also, I love this. I never really thought about it as a kid,
and the character
but I love this bit, like, having them look at the bite.
Yeah.
And I love the way he looks at it and, like, gestures it to those guys, like, despite being a massive giant. Like, it's a very human thing that he did there. It's just really funny. Also,
see a lot more of Gantu's, like, quote-unquote humanity in the spin-off series too.
Yep, and its finale movie even then so as well. Also love this whole, like, it really shows Stitch's intelligence, like,
and he learns, like you said, thinks as fast as a supercomputer.
Yeah,
you saw him experimenting with that spit. Like, oh yeah, if it tracks my DNA, then
it's like, if this is me and that is, if it follows me and this is me, then that's me. Also,
it's like, eat your heart out.
Also, something else I never really picked up on as a kid, maybe I was just not clever enough to pick up on it, is that he's a prisoner. That's basically the orange jumpsuit that prisoners wear in prison industrial complexes here in the United States. It's like, it's like,
I didn't think about that, although we did see in Lilo and Stitch 2 that Jumba actually gave him that outfit.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, because that doesn't make a lot of sense. It makes more sense that it's a prison uniform. Because it's like you could scan that little triangle on his uniform so that it would be...
it's red. It's red, not orange.
Yeah, because he's an incredibly dangerous prisoner.
Yeah, he took the red one.
I guess it's just his color.
Okay, so apparently Stitch was supposed to be like this master criminal and Jumba was like his old partner. But audiences saw Stitch as much younger, so then they reworked it so he's like this newborn genetic experiment and a whole Frankenstein kind of thing.
So no matter how you slice it, that is his prison jumpsuit.
Yeah. Also makes me think that some of this might have come from that whole, running away from the law thing.
Yeah. I mean, let's be fair. I mean, by their law, genetic experimentation is illegal. But it's like, he created a son.
Yeah, it's a Frankenstein situation.
She's very mad. Oh, so the whole planet is Area 51. Good to know.
ERs. Hello, Tigger. But you notice that the pink one look kind of like... The pink one looks like Piglet, too.
Yeah, he does. Definitely on purpose. I mean, to be fair, they had Winnie the Pooh as a friggin' peasant in the Emperor's New Groove, just human Winnie the Pooh. When he's like, food? It's like that guy.
Yeah, Piglet here.
Yeah, and that's Piglet. We got Tigger and Piglet.
And the great Kevin McDonald.
Yes.
Nobody else can be Pleakley. You cannot change my mind, Disney.
It's absolutely impossible. He has such a distinct voice, and his humor is just really great.
Also, Pleakley is our queer icon before we even realized what queer meant, at least in my case.
Oh yeah, he was definitely He definitely...
Crazy head? I love how he just says crazy head to the Grand Councilwoman here.
I mean, look at your own head. Are you one to talk?
No. So who else had a Viewmaster when they were a kid?
I did. Oh man, when you'd actually see those images in 3D,
it does kind of date
like...
this movie a little bit, but it's still cute.
Now that's the thing. Like, I mean, this film also has fucking like disposable cameras as well, like at the tourist shops. It's like, yeah.
But yeah,
there's a lot of data.
It really does.
There's a handful.
That's what I mean by this. This defines the early 2000s.
That is true.
It takes place in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I love how you can see it on her face. It's like, hey, wait a minute. Neighbor with a beard.
He keeps going.
I want to know what else he asked her in that time they spent walking over here. Or like it's a prison industrial complex, so it's like I have to imagine
it's like Pleakley's first introduction to Jump. I was like,
yeah, he looks a little insane.
Surveillance in one of the cells. I'll have to run it back.
That's true. You can only see it in silhouette, but they would then recycle that design for the character in LILO and Stitch the series, which is really cool. It's like they didn't know that the series would be a thing, but it's like really. It's interesting that you could give the character 4 eyes, and the other two eyes don't feel superfluous. They actually feel useful. I can imagine, like, we see the world as
God, look at his cat. Did you see his calendar? Chubby woman in swimsuit.
Well, he's a big guy. He likes women with a large... Anyway.
And Buddy apparently likes skinny men.
Evidently. Jump as a bicon.
People, you know that this became a thing. They pretend to be aunt and uncle through the whole time on Earth.
Right.
Like, don't you miss your Aunt Pleakley?
Yeah.
I'm wearing the wig.
LILO and Stitch.
And okay, yeah, LILO. When we were in Psychology of Gender, this was like one of the Disney animated female characters who, she's not only is she very quirky and got such weird interests, but also her body proportions, they're realistic.
Very much like an actual little girl.
7-year-old.
Yeah.
She's 7.
7. Like an actual 7-year-old girl. I want to point out the dolphins were really nicely animated.
I think the noses too. Like they were really.
Oh yeah, no. Chris Sanders had a whole like do's and don'ts like sheet of like how to draw the humans in this movie, and it was like don't go for that typical Disney feminine beauty like this or this. You gotta really like. There's a really specific way we draw the beauty, like draw these characters. And it permeates all the designs. No other Disney
movie draws the humans like this, and I love it.
And it really...
This is actual hula dancing, by the way. Like, they really put the effort into this.
But the Hawaiian language that you're hearing is butchered syllables that only sound vaguely Hawaiian because they are Hawaiian words, but their pronunciation and syllabic placement is completely thrown off.
That tends to happen in singing.
That's the thing, though. Moana showed that that's not an excuse. Because they actually did it, because Lin-Manuel Miranda went to the effort of actually doing it correctly, but we'll get there when we get there. Like, actually using the syllables and the language correctly to create the translation of the song. It's like, even point out here, like, the song isn't even necessarily about anything. Like, it could be, but not that we know.
It's something like No Me Lilo, something like that.
Something about Lilo, probably. He acts like he's never heard of this before. He probably hasn't. Yes.
Oh god, this is like talking to 7-year-olds sometimes.
Yep.
Like, I babysat a girl who was like this sometimes. You know, before we became a thing, she was... The 6-year-old I babysat was scheming about how to set me up with someone, and let's just say a lot of those things sounded illegal.
Oh, man. You just see her energy, too. Actually, and considering the gusto that Dakota Fanning... No, not Dakota Fanning. No, Dakota Fanning was the substitute voice.
DeVay Chase. DeVay Chase.
DeVay Chase.
DeVay Chase. I lost it again.
But, like, anyway, you can hear the energy she's putting in this performance. And you have to imagine when she's in the recording booth, she's just, like, throwing her arms around. It's like, I'm sticking tunas! Like...
And now like, just imagine her whispering, "In 7 days you will die."
Yeah, that's right. That's right, I almost forgot about that. Here's the thing. Myrtle became really obnoxious because of the TV series. You know? It's like, in the movie, she's just another little girl who just doesn't jive with LILO's weirdness. And it's like, but we feel bad because it's like, why won't they let her join in any reindeer games? It's like, and we already have a parallel.
If I were bitten by someone, I'd be kind of mad too.
I want to, parallels between our two leads. Two characters bitten by said character ask if it's infected. It's just great.
Okay, yes, because you know she's like Stitch in the way. Nobody understands her, and she's prone to. She has some anger management issues too.
Yeah, she's prone to outbursts, and in large part because nobody bothered. Like, how many people bother to understand her? Like, even her sister is slightly averse to understanding her. Like, she understands her as a sister, but like. But you know, also, like, yeah, there's also that
understandably
sibling,
frustrated.
Yeah, there's also that sibling, like, why the fuck are you acting this way? It's like,
okay, I'd be mad too if I went to pick up my sibling and they were not at school like they said.
That's just LILO weren't thinking.
Well, now you know where LILO gets it.
Yeah,
I know where LILO gets it.
Yep. Because we see, like, oh, they feel like they never understand it.
And let's keep in mind that they recently lost their parents, so there's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
In their heads.
A lot. Social worker's gonna be here. Good lord, LILO. And we say that it's been, like, relatively, like, recent for their parents' death, but at the same time, this is, like, as Nani said, not the first social worker to come here. Unless she was just making conversation with the guy, but, like, still.
I mean, it was recent enough that LILO at least remembers her parents.
Oh, yeah, no.
I mean, this is honestly just a sibling. I mean, who hasn't said stupid things when mad at their siblings, but not actually meaning it?
Right.
I mean, you have 5 of them.
Yeah,
so...
we definitely got a bit, like, extreme.
Cobra Bubbles is also...
He's great.
The way he just mumbles that too.
Yeah.
He's like, I do not like my name.
Yeah. Like, who gave him that name? Gotta see
you make him look so much like this creepy Men in Black guy, and purely
intentional. Well, spoiler alert,
he is a Man in Black.
He really is. He is the Man in Black.
I mean, I always kind of thought, you know, as a grown-up, I understand what this looks like to Cobra Bubbles here.
Yeah, it does hit different. I always got the vibe, it's like, oh, I definitely don't want to see him walking in on, like, this.
And it's an awkward moment too. Like I'm sure there are some people who have trouble with social workers that they'll come in on a really bad time.
Yeah, but LILO ends up setting all this nonsense up.
Yeah. People who think Nani is bad. Remember, Nani's like what, 19? So
yeah, she's
give her a break.
She's not that old. LILO's very straightforward.
He doesn't even answer.
Love that dumb smile. Rosie the Riveter?
Okay, I think it was meant to be like, and get big strong muscles or lots of exercise or something like that.
Good lord, LILO.
LILO, why? LILO, why? Why the pillowcase
LILO,
thing?
why? Boy.
This is that trailer thing.
Yeah, want to point out that for
Maybe like say clean up the kitchen at least.
and then there's this. It's like,
I mean, she's creative.
she's creative.
And she's finding an outlet for her anger, you know?
I think Cobra gets the vibe. I think Cobra's getting the vibe that she's just a weirdo. LILO didn't even bat an eye at that. Because the thing is that he's not just a social worker, he's with Child Protective Services. This is a great moment.
Yeah. People, this is not abuse. This is siblings, okay? This is siblings having a fight.
Having siblings, licking your arms. Oof.
But not my arm, but my brother would definitely lick my hand.
Yeah, that's a pretty common one. Here's where we diverge a little bit.
Here's a dryer.
Yep.
And honestly, considering this is LILO, I believe she'd crawl in the dryer.
Yeah, she's that kind of kid. Yep.
I wish I'd use that technique. I mean, there are kids who will just kick and scream no matter what's going on.
Yeah.
So I had that happen in swim class once. It took 2 of us to get the girl out of the pool and go home.
The way she just flops over there.
I mean, that's fair. Sometimes kids just gotta scream into the floor and
like, God.
Again, sibling screaming.
Sibling energy and God. And we've created parallels between our 2 sisters.
Yeah, so this scene coming up, it was written differently, but they reworked it because Testanis has thought that Nani was her mother.
Yep.
It's like, see, she's not a bad sister. It's just really bad time.
Oh.
All families have that really. Yeah, people say Frozen is the first movie with sisters, but I would be like, dude, remember this?
Oh. Oh.
Aww. Aww. Now, see, siblings fight, but the healthy siblings, and once they cool down, they make up like this.
Also, they must have had like their animation A team on this movie because the animation on all the characters is gorgeous. Like,
Yeah, see, and these two...
Look at the subtle emotion they're putting here. It's like very, very, very subtle.
And the hair! The hair!
Yep, and give it up to Chris Sanders. Like, this hair is even more stylized than your standard Disney fare. Like, you'll notice they don't do super, super thin strands a lot. Like,
yeah,
even on the...
You know, these characters feel real. They're flawed, and, you know, they continue to be flawed when we get the spin-offs.
Oh, yeah, no, like, they begin the movie better than they end the movie better than they began it, but they're still human.
Yeah.
They can almost say that a lot of... Yep. This was one of the movies to employ animators at their, like, okay, so Disneyland Paris had
that always looked like it hurt.
Yeah, but Disneyland Paris had a second theme park that was basically Diet Disney Hollywood Studios. And it featured, much like Disney's Hollywood Studios in Florida, an actual animation studio. And this movie employed the Paris division.
Yeah,
actually, Treasure Planet would also
that might be why Stitch is popular in Paris too. Like, I remember when I was there for the Halloween show, and we had like Minnie Mouse and Stitch as the hosts.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the dude. He's cute. He's a baby fussy pants. He's fluffy.
And even outside of the times he talks, he's very great. Like, he's a great...
This frog. Oh, no, guys. Really?
The frog just sitting there just gawking at all this. I also want to point out that, like, Stitch is so invulnerable. He fucked up the suspension on all these vehicles. And also, I think it works from a comedic standpoint to have him making squeaky toy noises, and it kind of shows how invulnerable he is by doing so in very cartoon fashion. I want to say that Borzoi is definitely like a...
you were talking... Oh.
I want to say that Borzoi is definitely kind of like a... Like, definitely a little nod to, the Lady and the Tramp, when we had the Russian Borzoi character.
I was like, do we have a lobster door? No, we have a dog door, so we're getting a dog.
Interesting way of... he remembers his dad.
Of course they do. Remember, his memory only goes far back as like a couple days, so...
That's true. And he's got the intelligence and thinking speed of a supercomputer, so it's not like he'd forget.
I remember seeing this scene in the trailer for the first time. It's like, cutie pie!
Yep. And eventually...
Oh. Okay. Now, as much as it's cool that Japan and China had their own spin with Stitch and a little girl, this is the only duo that does it for me.
Yeah. I love this whole bit.
No, yeah.
He looks at the poster of a dog on 2 legs and hugging a girl.
And he does the hugging instead of the girl. Yeah.
I love this woman. She's only in this movie for like this.
Dead this morning. I used to think she and Myrtle were related because, you know, with the red hair and the glasses.
I can definitely see where you're coming from.
I used to, not anymore. Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, wait, okay."
But
like,
she's not questioning it.
But he immediately changed his mind when she said dogs can't talk. He's like, "Okay, I'll shut up." And Nani's like, "No."
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. I've heard of dogs named Socks and Tupperware. I don't think you could not name a dog Stitch.
I love this. Can I borrow $2?
And then
she just... yeah, she just...
That's such a cute...
Nani does.
That's a cute little sister's thing. That's just a sister's thing. That's really adorable.
Oh, wait for it.
I love this.
Like, yes, I
only
had problems
understood
with the
that.
anime's
I only understood that as I was older, because like I never picked up that Stitch was what hurt him. It was like, how could he? It was like, Stitch is a freak of nature. More like a freak of science, really.
Okay. Yeah. He's putting his finger in the gun.
Just fucking Looney Tunes in that gun.
With all both my bare hands. They never bark at nothing. Okay, yes, squad. People had problems with the anime's explanation of why Stitch isn't with LILO anymore. I had problems with it.
Yeah. Mulan Walk, in reference to Mulan.
Yeah, someone said in the chat that Nani's voice actress was originally going to be Mulan before they went with Ming Na Wen.
Huh.
Oh, Zerbert kisses.
Yeah. Again, sisterly sisters. Sister. God.
They are not your friends, girl.
They're not your friends. They don't even like you. Why do you spend time? Why? Okay, I get you're in the same hula class, but why do you think friends?
Okay, now that is
Yeah,
mean. Like, come
hold on a minute.
Like, she did say she's gonna run. This is why people hate Myrtle.
Yeah.
I have ever saw. Yeah. It's like, come on, LILO didn't just say sorry.
I
She
always
said
understood
sorry
this bit.
specifically for what she did. LILO was owning up to her mistake. Jeez, you're a petty. You know, when you see more of the experiments, you realize how petty Jumba is in the experiments he makes.
Yeah.
It's like he invented a guy just to insult people. Is that done?
Oh.
He's like, this is not my ideal environment.
Fetch. Stitch. What are you looking
And Jumba's
at?
not really evil. He's just a petty guy who does illegal stuff.
Yeah, he does genetic experiments because he likes doing it. He likes to be called an evil genius, but how evil is he?
It's like Doofenshmirtz, you know? Just making inventions for petty reasons.
Just a little more affable. You know, Jumba could probably still bring that gun into a Disney park because it doesn't look like a gun.
You're right, except Jumba's experiments were much more successful
Never
than
mind.
Doofenshmirtz's. But still petty.
I mean, he could have taken that gun into a Disney park because it looks like a toy. Past tense.
Way to sneak Orlando in there, Disney.
Yep.
Ah, Disney, and it has Disney Castle on there.
Uh-huh. Stitch is like, this is a ship, right?
Yeah, what is with cartoons and just making food look better than it does in real life?
Cartoons also make these things look a lot more fun than they actually are.
Oh, David. One of the underrated Disney boyfriends.
Yep. He's a pretty stand-up guy. God
What
damn it,
did he
David.
drink there?
He didn't drink. He put like a fluid in his mouth, like a lighter fluid in his mouth. That's how fire breathers do their.
Ew.
Yeah, it's. I think you got to build up a tolerance to it, and it's not technically lethal in like if you ingested like a little bit of it.
I saw a Has-Been Hotel comic where Charlie goes to Alistair like, this is your badness level. And Alistair's like, it needs to be higher, darling. Yeah, keep in mind, Nani's also working this minimum wage job on top of raising a child.
Yep. Raising her own sister. At least that's the story we're going with.
Well, at least he tried to give it back.
You know what's really interesting about that, though? We don't see any saliva, so that actually might be sanitary.
Remember his
he is a genetic
kind of acidic.
He is a genetic experiment, so it's like maybe he salivates only on command. Like his saliva. No, his saliva isn't acidic. He spat it at the ground, and the guns shot the ground. That's what happened.
Ugh. I've had poi. It's not that yummy. Poi bread, on the other hand, yum yum.
He doesn't even touch on the butt thing.
Butt
just
thing.
Now, where did he bring that alien meat from? Was it just like
Maybe he brought it along for the trip. You know, they gotta pack some food for the road.
I suppose so. They wouldn't know whether or not they'd be able to ingest Earth food at all.
Really just chomps down on Plickly's head there.
just out of spite.
Plickly's such a noodle head if he's able to survive that.
Pleakley is... Pleakley's very lucky to have a skull made entirely out of cartilage for any of that to work.
We know he's got a very, very tiny brain from the...
And I see the expression on her boss's face too, where he's not too pleased about this shit, like firing her.
Oh, this line is awesome.
They really are. They really are sisters.
And she said that, you know, so LILO wouldn't feel bad about it.
Yeah. She wouldn't want to feel like it was her fault.
And appeal to her interests.
But also, it wasn't really her fault. It's more so Stitch's fault, anyway. Rolling around at the speed of sound. Got feet in my mouth, gotta follow my rainbow. God. Back when blenders didn't have a safety feature.
He's trying to figure things out, actually.
Yeah? Anything he can do. Damn! Oh, man.
Yeah, and Stitch is like that look, is like, wait, that made you stop? What?
This is the first time he's actually been touched with genuine, like empathy and sympathy.
Yeah, because, you know, remember, he's learning as supercomputer, and the first thing he knows is like, wait, why did what you just said get you to stop that?
Yeah, it's like, I understand the words that you're saying, like, I know what they mean, I know English, but like,
why are you
you're confusing
that way?
me.
Yeah. Okay, LILO, that one's on you. Don't give the dog coffee. I mean, for all you know, it's a dog.
Yeah, if it's a dog, you definitely don't want to give it coffee.
Don't give any animals coffee.
Ain't this everybody at a sleepover? It's like, hey, I'm gonna steal your bed.
Oof.
God. The fact that I heard fabric noises.
Ooh, her blue period. That means she had a depressive stage. It's like, this is flowery. He's like,
And oddly enough, going back to the postcards from earlier, because there were postcards for San Francisco.
Oh yeah, right. I didn't catch that. I was like, so how'd you know what San Francisco looked?
The posters, the postcard, and then something else.
And the movie
the movie that we obviously know that he's imitating because they drew attention to that. And A113 on the driver's license.
I mean, I guess he's putting his energy into it, so. Oh, and Pleakley finding himself on Earth.
Yeah. And Gemma just like doesn't want to be left out of the fun. It's like he's not even judging Pleakley. He's just like, hey, let me try it. This looks fun. Floofy hair. I've been bald my entire life, minus these 3 hairs.
Hey, gay, we're totally gay. You're right. I mean, it might be because his alien blood is new and it's like, this smells different. We want it.
They don't know if it'll kill them or not. Probably won't. Actually, maybe it could. But that was a lot of mosquitoes. I think, like, the first person she thinks to call is David. Ain't that sweet? More caffeine. Mm. Yep.
It's interesting perspective from Jumba as well. Which I guess really helps with his reformation.
No memories. No. Yeah, that's true. He's like days old. Not even a week.
Yeah, like I said, it's a Frankenstein. It's a Frankenstein situation.
But beyond Frankenstein, like Victor just wanted to study life and, you know, figure out how to create it. But Jumba literally wanted to create like the movie monsters like Stitch saw in the giant tarantula. But, you know. I love that. I love the way they draw him pointing like that. And Chris Sanders, the director and writer, like the guy who created the story and characters, voices Stitch in everything. I think he also did the noises as well as the design for Toothless and How to Train Your Dragon. But like, I love the way they animate him going. The way he is pointing is always so adorable. And it's like he found something he doesn't want to destroy. Man. How do you know?
Music. Stu's a savage beast.
But yeah, Chris Sanders' voice of Stitch. Yeah, like that's what I said.
Another trailer moment.
Yeah, of course they use Hound Dog here instead of this song.
No, they used Hound Dog in yeah, and well, the Mulan poster.
The Mulan poster, yeah, and also as people pointed out, there are medals and a surfing trophy. She literally had to give up on her dreams of being a champion surfer in order to get a job.
Oh, you're right. Which I guess explains how she surfs so wonderfully later on.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't never notice that. There's always stuff you've
You're
noticed.
interrupting
watch around.
What was going through Stitch's head? Was it like, you're interrupting family time?
Cobra Bubbles is already suspicious about his origins.
No. See, the thing is, like, we already spoiled it, but he knows what Stitch is. Or at the very least, he knows that he's not a dog. Like, he knows more than anyone that he just goes along with the ruse.
Most of the people here have probably already seen this movie. Yeah,
but there's gonna be somebody watching this commentary and being like, "Oh, you spoiled it." That's the thing. Spoilers shouldn't ruin your enjoyment of a movie. They should reinvigorate your understanding. It's like, he's like, that's our dog. It's like, really? It's like...
I love how they bring Mrs. Hasagawa back.
In the show. Yeah. I just remember the American Dragon crossover where she and, like, Gramps were going out on a date.
Oh, right.
Cherry tomatoes, $1 for that whole little
See,
basket.
Stitch is learning and appreciating, but you know,
Also
he's
notice
still pretty
that
clumsy.
as he's not aggressive, they aren't showing his teeth, much like they do with LILO a lot of the time. Like, just don't show her teeth.
Okay, now that was an accident.
Yeah. I think she kind of just gave up when Mrs. Hasagawa
Notice
was
that Cobra Bubbles is right there.
Oh yeah, he is. I think he's
He's
almost
been watching
like
them this whole time.
I think he's. Well, I mean, if we're already going over it, he's in the CIA. I'm pretty sure he knows how to follow people, or he was in the CIA. He knows espionage.
Is it? Yeah, I always thought that, you know, that lady, she looks a little bit like Mulan's mom, you know, with the hairstyle.
Honestly, even her face a little bit. I think they definitely intentionally did that.
Now, Lilo, okay, this is where Nani needs to give you a little lesson in consent.
Yeah.
Remember, she is 7.
Just because you see, I love this. And what's really great about that is that in the sequels and TV series, yeah, she does. She works at the surfboard rental and shit. So that's really nice continuity from like she finally like.
Of course, you can't just hire a lifeguard on the spot. They had to go through the training for it.
Yeah, but she said they have an opening. She didn't say it was a lifeguard opening.
I mean, she said she was all about saving people, so yes.
Well, she could always be trained, you know, after they've got her on. It was like, okay, so we're gonna have you like working shifts under someone until you're ready to take on the lifeguard yourself.
Okay, now he was just kind of triggered by that flashing light there and the
Yeah.
crowding. But jeez. Man, even that lifeguard's proportions are all...
oh no, the only person he dared not upset, and he's like, ah, shit, I did it again.
I know, it's like, she's my morality pet, or rather, I'm her pet, and she's my morality, I don't know.
There was a deleted scene where LILO was dealing with tourists, which gave further context to why she took photos of the tourists. It's like, if they're gonna objectify and glorify her just being like, you know, a native Hawaiian girl, it's like, oh look, she lives here, how novel. It's like
there's a deleted thing about Pudge the Fish too.
That's true.
You know, and they're going like why she thinks Pudge the Fish controls the weather. Probably something to do with her parents' death.
Yep. Considering that
Hawaii
Hawaii is an island,
and it was raining.
Yeah.
And maybe it was the one day she forgot to bring the peanut butter sandwich.
Could even have been a could have even been a hurricane for all we know. Also, you never notice because they do it so well, but the surfboards are CGI. I only just noticed it when David was carrying them. It's like, wow, the shape of those surfboards is really solid and the blinds aren't boiling and it's CGI. Really well integrated.
Oh, this song plays in like a calypso theme at the swim school. You know, it's like elevator music.
Nice. But again, to further point out here, again, they're using real Hawaiian words, but butchering them so badly that it's basically nonsense. In fact, none of the words actually form coherent sentences. Experimenting with CGI. Ryder, they were experimenting with CGI all the way back in Beauty and the Beast. I think this is them really perfecting everything. It's like, we're really like... It's like, okay, now we're using it for vehicles, surfboards, we're just using it for everything, you know? Like, everything that's not a character.
Yeah. Take notes, guys. If you're interested in a lady who has a kid, play with the kid.
Yeah! And honestly, David really does like LILO. And besides, that would potentially make LILO his future sister-in-law.
It's like he wants to be a part of it, but he still feels like he's on the outside.
Yeah. It's like... And the thing is, you can see the pensive expression on his face. He knows he fucked up.
And
then...
yeah,
Yeah.
You know, something about I noticed about the ugly duckling thing. I mean, that story ends with him finding a family that looks just like him. So maybe that's going through Stitch's mind too.
He's found his family.
I was like, so does that family have to look like me too? Yeah, parents, if you're going in the water with kids who can't swim, please stay with them at all times, especially if they're little ones.
Yep. But as mentioned, Stitch has the molecular density of a Stitch has the molecular density of a boulder.
Yeah. And you know, even if your kids can swim, please watch them at all times.
Stitch is like, oh no, what the fuck did I just get myself into? Even Nani's warming up to him. It's like, really, family.
Pose for the cover.
Pose for the cover, and that's also, like, these are trailer shots. I have to imagine they absolutely edited Jumba out of the shots, like, just, like, removed his animation, you know? Because, like, that's much easier than, you know, like, just,
You're right, Pleakley's real name is Wendy.
And see, that's the thing, it's not even...
you know, this...
It's barely even Stitch's fault, it's also, like, Jumba here.
Yes, but they don't see Jumba.
That's true.
Okay, and you know, even if Jumba wasn't there, see, when someone's drowning, their first instinct is to grab onto the nearest person, and as a result, can lead to both of them going down.
Ooh, wow! I think Stitch managed to skip
Stitch
those.
For that.
I mean, I think Stitch managed to skip those guys like a rock, like 90.
Yeah, and you know what, David? Yes, David, that's exactly how you rescue someone from drowning. You do your breaststroke arms to get down. You get behind them, get your arms underneath their armpits. I'm in swim instructor mode here.
Yep. Whenever water's around, you kind of gotta be. Because Stitch's last thing he saw was Jumbo, so it's like, but not that they could know.
Man, I mean, my internet must be failing or something, because getting...
God. But that's the thing. God. It's like,
I mean, you gave her 1 day to find a job, though. That's BS.
No. He gave her 3 days to he gave her 3 days to change his mind.
No. He gave her 1 day to find the job. Today. That was today.
Okay, definitely not fair. But also,
it does not take 1 day to find a job. It does not. Especially in this job market.
Well, this was early 2000s and an island with no big cities. She literally went door to door asking for jobs.
Ducklings.
And that's Donald's obligatory movie cameo.
Blah.
Everything about this scene is very tied to them. And
I don't know why I'm getting glitches on my end. Hang on a second.
I think I can fix that. There we go. That might help it. Alright.
Yeah, there is a deleted scene where Stitch
Now,
kills Pudge the fish. I don't blame them for cutting that out. I don't think I would have forgiven Stitch after killing a fish.
no, specifically Pudge the fish.
It's like, not that we can't have death in these movies, but
No.
if Stitch
And
had killed...
Here's the thing. Here is the thing. This song,
Oh.
in a movie written and directed by a bunch of white guys, is very expertly used to tie to Lilo and Nani's culture, as this song was written by the last queen of Hawaii when Hawaii was being colonized by the United States for the war. It's like,
Yeah, Elvis did not write this song. I mean, he put his own
No.
spin on it, but...
he definitely recorded a version of the song, but like, that's the thing. This song actually has some major cultural significance to these two characters. Oh.
Yeah, and it's like, and I'll bet you it was that.
What happened to yours?
It was that last Thursday where she forgot to bring Pudge the fish a peanut butter sandwich, and so that's why she's so hung up on that. Oh.
Because she understands so thoroughly, because she does the same thing.
Yeah, because she's had that same trauma.
She's not only had the same trauma, like, she, like, finding, like, that thing that your whole world is turned upside down. Stitch is very clearly depressed. Very clearly and openly depressed. And Lilo.
Oh, and
Lilo's
these
dealt
lines.
with that, and what she does is she punches, she kicks, she bites, she licks her sister's arm.
But she's just more emotionally aware of why she does it, you know?
Yeah.
And very mature for a 7-year-old, too.
I'd say, if nothing else, at the very least, intelligent, you know?
I remember everyone that
God.
leaves.
Stitch.
Oh.
Lilo being a name that means lost.
See, I'm sorry, Japan. I'm sorry, China. There is no better duo than Lilo and Stitch.
So as pointed out numerous times, lost, Lilo, and Stitch. He may have also inadvertently caused a bit of an extra rift here. Inadvertently. But he also helped bring it all back together.
He did the baby Stitch.
Look at his
and look, it's like a paw print there too in the lights.
Actually, what you'll notice, it's a puddle. It's mirroring the illustration in the book.
Yeah, no, it was lights shining on it.
Yeah. So the lights shining down through the trees.
You can tell when something's improvised.
I wonder how much of that was just him making shit up.
Yeah, Kevin McDonald. Man, everybody is so impatient. Like, 1 day, 2 days, really? Jeez.
I think you need to give her some credit as well. At least these two are inexperienced jackasses, and she put the trust in, like, your freedom for his capture, and it's like... Because... he shortens it to Trog, but like he has words to share with that troglodyte.
Oh, the VA, the Grand Councilwoman, passed away in 2020.
God rest your soul, Councilwoman.
Oof.
He was expensive. What about the other 625? Well, in the context of the movie, Stitch is the only one. And that's how I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it like that. Raising children can be pretty expensive.
Yeah, Jumbo's really... Like, you could see the ears pretty in his head.
God.
Baby. Why did you say that, dummy? That's on you.
Yep.
Why would you say that?
Well, see... See, he's been spying on Stitch, but, like... Nothing more else that could say be done to the day do done.
Now, imagine if they went with the original concept that it was going to be a girl in Kansas and not a girl in Hawaii.
I don't think that would have worked nearly as well. Especially since, again, with the whole, like, they had the deleted scenes of, like, LILO making fun of the tourists. And pretending that the beach siren test was an actual hurricane warning. Or tsunami warning. And it's like... The thing is, like... It's so unfair, like, when the US government gets in the way of, like, families, negative families, and, like, ruining, like, coming in and fucking everything up. And it's like, even Cobra Bubbles, like, I mean, as a black man in the US government system, knows how fucking shitty it is. So it's like, there's a lot of sympathy and empathy here.
You can kind of, you can kind of understand where Bubbles is coming from, though, because from his perspective...
From his perspective, she just cannot support
We're just
them.
dating. We'll call it even. Oh, David.
And this is the scene that got heavily edited after the September 11th attacks. Yeah,
well, not this part.
No.
The one
this,
after.
No. Okay, yes, that actually this one, but definitely had an impact, you know.
Nah, they just kind of softened the weapons a bit.
They softened like a lot.
And yet
in this
they
scene.
keep the plasma cannon in there.
No, because like that's just a laser gun that's meant to stun Stitch. But you'll notice that Jumba looks like he's drawn a little weirdly in some of these shots, and that's because, well, they had to send it to a.
They
like,
also made him kind of look softer in appearance.
That's not. That is not intentional. That is just the animator who drew him in these shots.
No, if you look at the original scenes, he looks a lot different.
Yes,
it looks
but
more like he does in the spin-off series.
Yes, but the thing is that they did not do that on purpose. It's just a matter of the animator they handed the job to of reanimating these scenes. Because you'll notice at this moment, they had to change the lip sync, so they did the whole animation, but then you'll notice Stitch grabs him and there he is with his proper smaller head. It's hard to notice, but it's definitely true. And all these cartoon weapons become... You'll notice that Pleakley is not, like, molded to those weapons in his little cartoon snake body.
Aliens are attacking my house.
They added cartoon sound effects. They added
that poster in the background too changed.
Yeah.
Facial expression changed.
Huh.
Okay, what does that sound like to him, you know?
That her dog found the chainsaw. And a completely removed shot of LILO running away from the chainsaw. Because never admit that Stitch could cause some major damage.
How do they know about Christmas and Hanukkah?
Intergalactic. They speak English!
I mean, please, Earth expert, though.
They changed the explosion from red to green, and also, probably because it was just the plasma cannon, the general store.
Oh man.
And another
that was
A113
A113 too.
license plate. Huh. Now LILO actually understands, like, the real, like, only in the moment does she really understand the consequences here. Like, she understands that this is a lot bigger. And that's not great. But yeah, the explosion was originally orange, and also part of that fact is that the original scene is much funnier because of just how abhorrently, like, violent it is. Like the plates going through the ceiling was originally plasma blasts. You know? I feel like that reaction is justified. Even more so when they had the shot of her house on fire. Damn. And look at that. A simple bag. Woof. And I mean, not her first interaction with an alien creature, but definitely one where she's actually recognized it as an alien.
It's a huge alien. It's a huge alien.
Also, something I never really picked up on as a kid is that he's slipping through the gap between the glass and the rim of the thing. Like the world's most...
I had no idea what you just said because it glitched.
Ow. He slipped through the... I love the way he slipped through the glass and the... Yeah. There's a gap between the glass and the rim of the little bottle container.
Give Nani credit. For immediately like, okay, go into Mavir mode.
Yeah. I mean, first time she's actually heard him talk.
Too.
Jeez.
I mean, props to Nanny for like facing down these guys when she's like freaking out.
Yeah.
Interact with her.
Again, you can feel the real human, like, expressions in her poses. Yeah. God.
Yeah, man, even Jubba's like feeling bad about this.
I mean, they all feel bad, especially since they practically spent the last 3 days with them.
Oh, he has learned.
God. I'm so surprised that Nani doesn't just tear up at that.
Quickly and Jumper are like, huh? Oh, I love this part. Eat.
Now, they originally... Now, there's originally a shot here where they crash through the gate of, like, the holding area for commercial jets. But then they did this instead.
And Jumba changes yet again.
Yep. I swear, that animator also animated on another shot, like, earlier in the movie.
I understand why they changed the whole hijacking a plane thing.
Yeah, because after the September 11 attack, you literally have aliens hijacking a commercial jet.
And plus, from a story perspective,
they're supposed
it does
to be
make
the
sense
heroes.
that they would have a spaceship anyway.
No, it doesn't, actually. From a story perspective,
it does.
No. From a story perspective, it makes more sense that they would have to hijack a plane. No, they literally said, we have 66 in custody, we'll wait right here. Because if they had the ship, then they would have just gone to the ship immediately. That's dialogue
or more like
as a
they
whole.
had to wait for the authorities to check on their capture.
Yeah, well, it recontextualizes it, but that doesn't make it any less,
Yeah, but that's what? Do you think we walked here?
Yeah, no, they were dropped off. That's the whole thing. But anyway, we'll get into more of that as we go along. Because, like, throwing in the alien ship kind of just creates a bunch of other problems.
It's cooler with the ship too.
But it's funnier with the jumbo jet. I think it's cooler with the ship, but it's funnier with the jumbo jet.
Yeah, that was Oh, okay. Admittedly, him on the phone there. Originally, it was him just going through the airplane catalog.
And these were originally buildings. Yeah. These mountains were originally buildings in this moment. And yeah, so having
you're saying they shouldn't have changed it?
A hijacked plane next to a bunch of buildings like that. Honestly, they had to change it. It's just you know.
Yeah, you're right. Even before 9/11, you don't want them stealing a plane.
No, it's just like I think 9/11 ruined it because it was funnier when they took the plane from the thing because and also contextualized in the fact that they did not have their own ship.
Please don't justify it.
No, I mean like no, the only justification is their justification for changing it, which yeah, it didn't look good after September 11. But I'm pretty sure the entirety of the comedy film Airplane wouldn't really fly in a post 9/11 world.
Man, you are such a purist when it comes to animation. The frog.
Yeah. I'll save you, Froggy.
He goes from threatening the frog to saving the frog.
Yeah.
Character development.
It's just like, yeah, it's just great.
Here we go.
Now, nothing about this changed. Hey, 113 again. You can.
How many vehicles in this state have that license plate?
Two. Yeah, it would be impossible under normal circumstances.
And now Stitch is using his destructive nature to his advantage.
Yep.
He's like, okay.
And actually, this would have been a callback to earlier when he used the gas line in the house to, like, go ahead, Jumba, fire the gun. He broke the gas line at the oven in the original version of that house scene and destroyed it. This would have been a callback to that. Where he uses the gas to launch himself. Woo! Off he goes.
Fluffy! And he is cute and fluffy. Okay, there would be severe air pressure at this moment.
Probably, yeah.
At least for LILO. Stitch, probably, I don't know. I mean, they live in space, so...
Yeah. Forearms come in handy, don't they?
And having that strength. David.
Coming in for a water landing. I have to imagine in the original version of the scene, they probably just had them use the water landing equipment from the plane, you know what I mean?
The 2 trips. How did he even get Gantu out that back?
Honestly, I think Gantu could just walk it.
Yeah, because it was like, there is no... it looks like... Okay, it looks like he did walk it. You're right.
He's also fish core, so he probably is a fish. Like, he could probably at least hold his breath for a long time.
The fluff trog, I want to know.
She's like, wait a minute.
And that's when she's starting to realize that something's changed. She had to go to Stitch. Yeah. That Greg Castle woman's like, what? You are not the same little tyke from like a couple days ago. Oh. God. This voice acting, jeez. He did that, baby! Stitchy! Ah! Can't get over how cute he is.
He's really cute. Oh.
Yeah, even Pleakley's like...
Yep. Wait a minute.
Hit, not judge. Remember Cobra Bubbles. I love how out of breath she is when she's delivering that line too.
Yeah.
So she did go to Earth.
Or perhaps she had been in contact with the CIA about getting their ship back.
You're right. Maybe on telecommunication.
Yeah.
Yeah, social services.
Yep. And you can't even tell me it's about the spaceship being damaged thing, because the whole thing is that they didn't have their own ship.
But they still have the ship later.
Oh yeah, in the TV series because they brought it in, but like the whole thing was that they weren't supposed to have their own ship.
Yes, but they're also exiled.
But I guess this could recontextualize. Maybe they used some of the salvaged ship parts to build this, and so now the ship definitely won't take off anymore. I guess they're just acclimated to their life on Earth at this point. This is pretty funny.
It's like, trade ya.
Mom's gonna be confused.
I mean, we traded. Oh boy, but what if that is breast milk in there? That's dangerous.
It's probably formula.
I hope so. I'm sorry.
Uncle Bubbles, along with Uncle Jumba and Aunt Pleakley. Look at them go! Happy Halloween! I
love this whole montage.
It's so delightful.
And just showing how Jumba and Pleakley have entered their roles as uncle and aunt.
They both have one. That one done well. I love how the cape just drops when he's like... Honestly, it looks more like a bikini top.
Still.
Look at him go. And visiting Graceland. Because, hey, Elvis fans. And there you are, Lilo and fucking Stitch. What a movie.
It still holds up.
It holds up really well.
I mean, aside from a couple things like the Viewmaster, but...
Oh, I think that still holds up. Like, I think more kids need to, like, get Viewmasters. Just find them out. Go to Goodwill, go to Salvation Army, go find a Viewmaster. Or hell, I'm pretty sure some Viewmasters are probably still, made, so it's like, it's just having to look for them because they're not, in common circulation.
And give credit that they really went all out in trying to be respectful in the representation here.
I mean, they literally had the anti-colonialist tourism deleted scenes, like, and then
I mean, I kind of understand that why they let that part out. I feel like it kind of would
to make the mainland American audiences more comfortable. That's precisely the opposite of the point.
No, that is not what I was saying. You didn't even let me finish.
Sorry.
I was saying it would have taken away from the main conflict. The movie wasn't, because that wasn't the focus of the movie, that's why.
No, but I feel like it's a fundamental misunderstanding to say that to even insinuate that the whole, like, being treated that way by tourists, is unrelated from the entirety of the story. Disney Plus recommends Stitch has a glitch. Nice.
I mean, it was really more about how her peers treated her.
But I feel like the whole how the tourists view Lilo and her family and everything definitely also leans into the whole, the fucked up situation with social services having to take Lilo away, because it's another example of shit, America fucks things up. It's like it seems disconnected, but it is actually related. And I can definitely see, like, cutting it for time, though. The thing I can't...
No, but, I mean, like, if it was like that one scene and then the rest of the movie didn't really address that at all, it would have felt like a big diversion from the main plot.
Well, I still can't quite forgive the more, like, violently cartoonish, like, version of the scene where Jumba raids the house, because, like... Oh, it's scary! We have to change it because it's too scary! Yeah, Jumba is scary. He's a maniac.
Yes, but we have to be able to love him by the end.
Same with Stitch. I feel like removing removing Jumba's insane, like, makeshift weapon with like the saw blade and everything like that, removing him mostly utilizing his gun, removing Stitch, you know, dropping the chainsaw and the chainsaw almost cutting LILO in half, and using the gas line to egg Jumbo on to go ahead fire and knowing he'll blow up the house.
But then Stitch would have intentionally blown up the house. How can we forgive Stitch 5 minutes later?
He was
that?
egging Jumbo on. It's like, you wouldn't do it, would you? Like, I'm pretty sure Stitch wasn't going for like, oh, will you actually do it? Is like, are you crazy enough? Are you crazy? Are you lucky punk? You know, that's the whole thing with Stitch's vibe there. It's like, it's not evil, malicious, but not like intentionally wanting to, not wanting to blow up the house necessarily. It just happened. And then, like, am I the only one who doesn't like this version of Can't Help Falling in Love? It's weird.
You are such an animation purist.
But beyond that, what I think is, like, removing those things and removing that version of the scene would be like removing the Beast yelling at Belle to leave the fucking West Wing. You know, like him shouting and roaring at her at any turn. It's like, it's a fundamental understanding of that, yes, they did fucked up things. It's like, they fucked up so bad. In fact, in Stitch's case, he fucks up so bad that they fucking destroy the house. What's the best recompense they could make in a family-friendly movie? They literally rebuild the house at the end of the film. I'm pretty sure by that point we're beyond...
Yes, but they make it look less like he did it maliciously versus, you know, an accident.
With Stitch, I honestly, I think that doesn't, ultimately, I don't think that matters. I think ultimately, like, Stitch, like, needed to learn to not be destructive. And
yes, and by that point but at that point in the movie, he was starting to see that his actions had consequences. So for him, at that point in his character development, to willingly blow up the house, it wouldn't have made sense.
Right, but we're also interpreting it from the lens that he was leading Jumbo on actively to blow up the house. Like, blowing up the house was Stitch's intention. Which, honestly, it's like...
We don't want it to be his intention.
No, we don't want it to be his intention, but and it's like, it looks like... And it's all in what it looks like, right? How LILO was egging on the social worker about, like, discipline? Yeah, she disciplines me 5 times a day with bricks in a pillowcase. It's like, for Stitch to be grinning so, like, cheekily while holding the gas line. It's like, and also, I want to point out that he doesn't actually know what it would do. Like, he'd never known what that would do yet. That's another thing we could actually lobby in his defense.
If we had it your way, nothing would have been ever cut or edited.
I mean... the thing... Yeah, honestly... Yeah, no, I think, like... Honestly, I feel like it's that, you know... I feel like the original version of the scene, and the thing is, in terms of unintentionally doing harm that would hurt LILO, the chainsaw, like, running away, and it's like, that's the thing, though. I think the more violent version is the funnier. We could be here all night and I'd be going on about it. Otherwise, it's a very beautiful story. It's a very beautiful story about 2 sisters who overcome this great adversity of the American government fucking everything up, and it all got held together by this one cute little alien who learned how to not be a menace to society.
It's about people that aren't understood by the rest of society, who find each other.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I have to sign off so I can go to sleep.
All right. I think that's gonna be it. Thank you all so much for joining us for this wonderful movie. If you're still, if you're coming to this after the fact, thanks for watching. Until next time, remember to take care, stay safe, and be kind in all that you do. Aloha!
Aloha!